It's a blustery night in Dallas, Texas with another sellout in the cozy American Airlines Center. Game one of our NBA TNT doubleheader tonight is presented by the United States Marine Corps. Two teams fighting early season issues as the Phoenix Suns take on the Dallas Mavericks. Kevin Harlan with Doug Collins and Craig Sager as now we take a look at our McDonald's starting lineups. And Doug, we got a terrific matchup right off the bat as Stoudemire, at least to begin the game, will go one-on-one against the MVP of a couple seasons ago, Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah, Kevin, it's a lot different matchup for Amari. Dirk Nowitzki plays so much on the perimeter that Amari is going to have to really pick him up in transition and not just run back underneath the basket. I think he's playing a power player, so he's going to have to be very alert and aware of Dirk, who shoots the three and really is a versatile power player at that power forward position. So that should be very fun to watch here tonight. And Dirk Nowitzki, over the last season, averaged 33 points against this Phoenix Sun team. More importantly, shot over 11 free throws a game. So the Suns need to keep him off that foul line.
Phoenix Suns have lost 3 consecutive games, and that is something that this franchise is not used to, especially when they've had Steve Nash. Interestingly enough, Nash missed last night because of the flu. He's lost some weight, but he will start tonight for the Suns.
Yeah, I talked to him before the game, asking how he's feeling. He said, I've lost 7 pounds, but I'm going to go tonight. And they need him. They get Shaq back tonight, who rested last night, because in a game like New Orleans, when you play a center like Tyson Chandler, better for Shaq to rest and be able to come back in a back-to-back here. And he's played very well in these kind of games where he's had a nice rest.
Doug, the Mavericks have won 7 of 8, and it's this little-known undrafted player named J.J. Barea, which has really done Barea, who's done a nice job. Tonight he'll start at the 2-guard position with Jason Kidd in the backcourt.
Well, with the injury to Josh Howard, who really is a key player on this team, they start Devin George. So right now they're beat up. Their starting lineup, and Rick Carlisle just mixing and matching here early, trying to find wins until they get healthy.
And Stoudemire moving inside on Dampier and out of bounds. I know Dallas has been having some slow starts at home, only 3 and 4, losing their first 4 games at home this season.
Yeah, they haven't shot well here, Kevin. Interestingly enough, they've only shot 45% at home 1 time this year, so they are struggling to shoot the ball. They've been shooting it better in the last 8 games. Let's see if it picks up here tonight.
Stoudemire getting out on Dirk Nowitzki, and Nowitzki is coming off a nice game a couple nights ago in the Dallas Maverick win over the Los Angeles Clippers, as he is 7th in points, but coming off a double-double. And here is Stoudemire inside against Dampier, grabs the rebound.
Well, Dampier's size has bothered Amari Stoudemire the first 2 plays, and here he runs the floor, and Amari does not get back. So you can see right now Dampier is going to just try to run the floor as much as he can, force Shaq to change into the floor and try to pick up some baskets like that for Dallas. Here's the play this time, Amari wide open.
Little screen roll in the middle, wide open that time, Doug.
Well, they ran it to Shaq's side that time, so that time it was tough for Dampier to come off of Shaq, so when he rolled, that weak side of the floor was wide open.
Here's Jason Kidd. Barea into Dampier with a nice pass, and Shaq chasing Dampier down the lane.
Well, Dampier in the last game played only 3 minutes in that game, had a tough matchup with Zach Randolph, and did not play after the first 3 minutes of the game.
Barnes down the lane, stripped to the ball, Barea the other way, undrafted out of Northeastern. Kidd to Nowitzki and faces Stoudemire on the block and quickly doubled. Going to guard Dampier on the perimeter at all.
Well, you're going to see right now that they're going to use Shaq in every pick and roll they possibly can. Shaq just laying back. You saw Dirk Nowitzki hit a shot when they ran a screen roll with Dirk and Dampier. That time it's Devin George, so Shaq is going to have to get up on that screen and try to defend that shot a little bit better.
Devin George making his 2nd consecutive start tonight, and there's an outside shot by Stoudemire with Nowitzki watching in defense. Josh Howard not playing his 7th consecutive miss, a bad left ankle, and they keep saying he's day-to-day.
There's that pick and roll once again. This time Shaq does get out. Now you've got the mismatch, and Shaq would like to have to try to defend here Nowitzki on the perimeter.
Nash watching Barea, and he goes inside, bobbled by Dampier. First turnover, Bell picks it up, and here comes Barnes. George on him. Stoudemire over Dampier.
He's come out firing.
Yes,
He's taken 5 shots here. Has anybody else even taken a shot on this?
He's been terrific.
I think he's taken all 5 of their shots.
He has. He's 3 of 5 to start the game.
So they've made a conscious effort to get him started here tonight.
Well, he said a couple weeks ago he wants to be the featured guy on this team. The trap of Barea. He'll put up a 2. Nash lets him fire. Nice offensive rebound by Eric Dampier.
Last night, 17 offensive rebounds for the New Orleans Hornets for 28 points, but that was with no Shaq.
Nowitzki over Stoudemire. That's a 2. So Dirk Nowitzki from the field has gone 2 of 2, and Stoudemire 3 of 5. That's the matchup Doug was talking about pre-tip. Nash got a screen from Stoudemire and over Kidd. Not much they're going to play Nash tonight, Doug, as he was bedridden all day yesterday, did not play last night against the Hornets.
Well, if he's out there, he's going to play as much as he can. I can tell you that, just depending on how strong he's going to be. Terry Porter wants him out on that floor as much as he can.
Kidd to Barea. Stoudemire with the block on Dampier. Nash. And George picks him up, so we have some mismatches now. It means Barea is on Barnes down low. And Shaq finds the mismatch, exploits it with the pass. Barnes can't get it, picked up by Dampier. Here is Kidd. George the trailing Nowitzki into Stoudemire. Carlisle wants to speed the pace up here in Dallas a little bit. Here's another switch. They got Bell now working on Nowitzki. Doubled by Stoudemire. Rebound by Shaq.
This is the pace of the game that really Phoenix loves to play as well. I mean, they're going to run back at them, which I think helps Phoenix in the long run. Maybe they'll get their running mentality back as Roger Bell, this is a little 15-foot jump shot.
Kidd the other way. Here is George. Barnes was defending and picks up the foul on the perimeter. Now Barnes, who is a nice free agent acquisition in the offseason from Golden State, picks up his first personal foul. With a 2-point Dallas lead, we take a look at the field goal.
Well, Kevin, what you talked about, the Suns are taking almost 8 less field goal attempts during the season this year, and Dallas is taking 5 more, so they've picked up the pace with Jason Kidd, and the Suns have slowed their pace as Nowitzki once again curls off that screen and knocks the shot in. Again, it's going to be a very difficult cover for Amari Stoudemire. He's just not comfortable playing out on the perimeter like that. But what happened with Rick Carlisle, he said, we had Jason Kidd on our team. We're going to have to run with him on our team. That's when he's most effective. They're starting to get into the rhythm of doing that. And the Phoenix Suns, with Steve Nash, if he's on your team, you have to run. Shaq can play any style. We'll have some numbers later that will show that.
The Dallas Mavericks are number 8 in the Western Conference. The Phoenix Suns are number 7 right now in the Western Conference. As Doug, we take a look at your keys tonight for the Mavs and Suns.
Well, forward thinking, we talked about Nowitzki and Stoudemire, both those guys off to good starts. They both have 6 points and turnovers. The Suns leading the NBA in turnovers, almost 17 a game. They've talked about putting the ball more in Steve Nash's hands. They're shooting 50% from the floor, which is first in the league, but they're getting the least amount of shots. So unlike Phoenix, and bench play, we've talked about how good it's been for Dallas over the last 6 games, plus 30 points a game on the bench. Now, Barea is starting, so we'll see how that affects their bench. And then, to me, the wild cards tonight, Shaquille O'Neal, and not playing last night, and he's been very good in back-to-backs when he plays the second game. And then Jason Terry has been brilliant, over 26 a game in the last 4 games.
Barnes over George. That's a 3 by Barnes, a career-high 42% from three-point territory for Matt Barnes. I don't know that I've ever seen that a team leading the league in shooting and number 1 in turnovers as well.
Well, that's not a stat you want to have. The last team to do it was the Portland Trailblazers in 74-75.
Barea right over Nash.
Well, he's playing with such great confidence, and more importantly, his coach, Rick Carlisle, has confidence in him. Played the entire fourth quarter the other night and actually had the game-winning shot with 50 seconds to go, hit a 3. It was the first time that Dallas had led that entire game.
On the switch, they got Kidd watching Stoudemire. He got some help from Dampier, who comes over and rejects the shot. Barea, Nowitzki, and Dampier. Dallas, 64% from the field. Kidd to George, and George over Barnes. And Nowitzki digs it out. Wide open 3 for George. All the points except 2 have come from the front court for the Dallas Mavericks.
Well, right now, Phoenix is not rebounding the basketball, allows you to shoot a lower percentage. This is the 4th attempt at the basket. Here's another offensive rebound. This time it's going to be a foul on Devin George, but I mean, Phoenix has to clean up that defensive backboard. With Shaquille O'Neal and Amari Stoudemire in the game, rebounding should not be a problem.
George picks up his first personal foul. There were no changes out of that break for either team halfway through the first quarter. You take a look at the records. Phoenix has a better road. You talked about this earlier. Has a better road record than home record.
Yeah, their focus has been better. Their energy's been better for whatever reason. It's a zone defense. Amari's going to get called for the travel. But Rick Carlisle's played a little zone the other night against the Clippers. It's the way they came back. In that fourth quarter, they were down 15, came back and won that game in a big part because they played zone most of the entire fourth quarter to come back.
Barea, he gets a screen from Nowitzki and drives into Stoudemire. And Amari picks up the rebound. That's the first on him. He had only 4 last night in New Orleans with his 26 points. Nash, Shaq into Dampier. Here comes Jason Kidd to Nowitzki by Bell.
That's what they want to do more this year. Rick Carlisle said 40% of their offense, they want to get early offense, make it easier on Dirk Nowitzki. Here's Steve Nash, and he's not lost that shooting touch. He might lost 7 pounds, but he's still shooting the ball well, I'll tell you that.
Have we gone back in time 4 years here, the way these two teams are running up and down the floor?
Well, Steve Nash loves to play here in Dallas. He's had so many great games.
As Nowitzki found George, there was a foul inside defensively on the Phoenix Suns. And just tailing that with Nash in Phoenix, 7 wins, 7 losses in this series. This is the 15th meeting as Barnes picks up his second personal foul.
And some great playoff matchups, just great playoffs.
Here comes Grant Hill taking the place of Matt Barnes. Barnes tweaked his back, he said, a little bit last night. He starts tonight. Hill started last night and played a lot of minutes in New Orleans.
Well, Grant Hill, 39 minutes, so we'll see how his body reacts tonight to the back-to-back.
Over Bell on the mismatch, it's Nowitzki. And out of bounds. Dallas will take it. Dallas is just like Phoenix at home. They're 3-4 on the road. They're 6-4. Better road on the road. Better record on the road than at home.
Well, they lost their first 4 home games, Kevin, but they had a really tough schedule. They lose to Houston. They lose to the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, so that home schedule has been brutal. Actually, in this little 7 of 8 games that they've won, 7 of their last 8, they've played some really inferior teams. So we'll find out tonight how well they play against a better ball club.
Nowitzki is 4 of 6. Screen by Dampier. O'Neal now under. Rebound, another one offensive lead by Dampier. His 5th rebound. Here's a 3 by Nowitzki. As Shaq had the closeout.
Now, second shots are killing the Phoenix Suns right now.
And 11 points in the game for Dirk Nowitzki, the first player in double figures. Here is Nash, picked up by Kidd. And Shaq is going to set a screen. Stoudemire over Dirk.
He's much improved with that jump shot, but you know, as an opponent, when he's shooting jump shots, he's not getting dunks and easy layups, getting to the free throw line. That's what used to be his bread and butter when this team was running. He got so many easy points. Those points are down this year. He's shooting a lot more jump shots.
Jason Terry has just checked in for the Dallas Mavericks. Here is Kidd for 3. They let him fire. And picked up by Grant Hill. And lasers it inside to Shaq. Dampier with the rebound. Dampier was defending.
That's twice Shaq has got the ball deep. It looked like he's rushed both shots.
He's 0 of 2 so far. Good fake by Kidd. Nash defending and gets the steal. And off to Stoudemire. Nowitzki picks up the rebound. Jay Kidd 0 of 1. Over the last 3 games, averaging 27 points. He has been unbelievable coming off the bench.
Well, they dug themselves a 9-0 hole the other night against Clippers, and Jason Terry came into the game, hit his first 2 threes, got him right back in the ball game. So he's actually a starter. It reminds me a lot of when Manu Ginobili was coming off the bench with the Spurs when they were trying to create advantage. Here's another turnover.
Kidd with the steal, 2-on-1. Saved by Terry and picked up by Stoudemire. Kidd, by the way, number 3 all-time in steals. And outside a 3 by Bell over Nowitzki. Rebound inside by Shaquille O'Neal. And he was fouled. Dampier tried to climb on it. With a timeout and 2:48. Great pace to the game.
Well, it's really good for both teams because Dallas wants to be able to get up and get some easy shots, and Phoenix is trying to regain their identity. This is a running team, and when they run, they're at their best. We'll see if they can keep it up for 48 minutes.
Welcome back to Dallas, where Raja Bell has just picked up a technical foul for Phoenix. Doug Collins mentioned just moments ago that Phoenix trying to find its identity. That's particularly true for Raja Bell. I was talking to him before the game. I asked him what was wrong, and he goes, I don't know, he seems like maybe I've just lost the chip on my shoulder. I go, well, why? He goes, I don't know. He says, I got a 19-month-old son and a newborn, and maybe that's not the image I was trying to give to my family. I go, but that's not when you play the best. He goes, I know, I have to get that back. I just don't want to be the guy that looks like he's getting in a fight every night. But I definitely have to get that chip back on my shoulder. Looks like he found it tonight. Yep.
Well, a great report, Craig. You know, a couple playoff series ago when he clotheslined Kobe, and you said, Doug, in the wake of that, he kind of cemented his reputation with that hard-nosed defensive play.
Well, that black eye is who he is there. You see that shiner? That's the kind of player he is. You know, when he played in Utah for Jerry Sloan, when he played in Philadelphia for Larry Brown, you know, when he's played throughout this league, he's made his name in this league as being a tough defensive player. And when Phoenix went out to trade for him, it was to play against the Ginobilis and the Kobe Bryants and all the great players they're going to have to play against in the playoffs. And I like to see him get that edge back because I think he's one of the guys on this team who plays with an edge, and it's so important to his team.
Dragic has come in for the Phoenix Suns. As you take a look at Shaquille O'Neal and what he did once he was traded from Miami to the Phoenix Suns late last year.
Well, what I want to show is they didn't stop running. They averaged 112 points a game. They shot 53%. The rebounds were up. You see what the points in the paint. And during that period of time, Shaq took 8 shots. He averaged almost 14 points, almost 10 rebounds, and they had a +8 differential. This Phoenix team is never going to be a great defensive team. They're a team that can score, and then you have to play defense well enough to be able to win games, but they're never going to be a shutdown defensive team. That's not who their personnel is. They're built to run and play in the open court.
Sean Williams has also checked in for the Dallas Mavericks. Here is Dirk Nowitzki. Got the mismatch on Bell. Easily fires over him, and Dirk Nowitzki has 14 first-quarter points. He is 6 of 9 from the field.
Well, interestingly, Goran Dragic in the game right now, and he has really struggled. Let's see if Grant Hill looks to handle this ball a little bit more with his second unit.
And they got Dampier on Stoudemire. Nowitzki is over on Grant Hill. Shot clock at 7. Rebound by Barea.
Dallas has done a great job keeping Phoenix out of the paint. Only 2 points in the paint here in this first quarter.
That's Terry launching from the corner and picked up by Shaq and a shove inside by Williams, who they got from Indiana, and a foul called on Shaquille O'Neal, who picks up his first personal foul with 1:55 to play here in the first quarter.
Now this Sean Williams has got good size, and he can shoot the ball. And you know, Rick Carlisle had him in Indiana, so he knows a lot about him. He just got to get his personal life together. He's got to mature and grow up. He's got some talent. Went to Memphis, played there for a year, left early. But he's got to mature and grow up because the young guy's got some talent and he's got some range on his shot.
And here he is now, guarded by Grant Hill. The switch on defense. Stoudemire is on Williams, and Hill goes on Nowitzki. They double Dirk. Williams open for 3. Make it. It was a 3. And the rebound by Shaq. So Shaquille O'Neal has collected 4 rebounds. Hill the other way. Dragic is the backup at that point guard. And then, of course, it's Grant Hill, who backs up Nash as well. He's had a lot of different backups. And he puts a nice shot in right there.
That's a big shot for Dragic. He's really been out of the rotation. They've been going to Sean Singletary.
Barea takes it inside the lane. Dragic was defending. Stoudemire was there as well. And looks like Dragic will pick up the foul. With 1:10 to play here in the first quarter. Now they're going to put on Grant Hill. Grant Hill picks it up. And so the Mavericks will be at the free throw line. Check out TNT Overtime Extra on NBA.com to watch exclusive player cameras during tonight's Mavs-Suns basketball game. Fans can vote for which players they want to watch each quarter and chat with other fans around the country. It's a terrific on TNT Overtime Extra is live now on NBA.com. There goes Bell. Here comes Barbosa. And in comes Brandon Bass. Doug, of all the players on this Dallas team, I think this week in preparation for our broadcast, you talked about Brandon Bass as much as any Dallas player.
I like him. He's strong. He gives them a guy that can come in off that bench and rebound the ball. He can make some shots. And I thought last year in the playoffs against New Orleans, he played very well.
Averaged 11 points a game and 6 rebounds. He was terrific. And Shaq works on Dampier. And Barbosa, who has had a very uneven season, driving into Terry and picks up the foul. That's the first on him. Barbosa a couple years ago was the 6th man award winner in the NBA.
Yeah, it's been a real struggle for this. Is a young guy who's incredibly sensitive. He's one of the most popular players on the team. His mother was very, very ill over in Brazil, spending hours every day on the phone with her, just agonizing over her health. and then she passes away, and he has to be away from the team. He goes to see his mother and pay his respects. And it's been just a tough year for this young guy, and he's really trying to get himself back in the swing of things emotionally, more so really than physically.
Well said. Here's Hill over Terry. And with Ghana Jop in the game, Stoudemire beats him to the baseline and takes that ball away and jams it home. Amari now at 10, the only Sun player with 10, game high 14 for Dirk. There are no fouls to give either way in the final half minute of this first quarter. It's Terry. Wide open, Brandon Bass from LSU, former Southeastern Conference Player of the Year.
They can make that shot. I mean, the Suns got to respect that little 15-foot shot. Looks like the Mavs are going to go zone here on the last possession.
They did that the other night against the Clippers with that 2-3 zone.
Good move. Just know where Barbosa is. He's really the only perimeter shooter, so you got to know where Barbosa is.
Hill finds the double team, Stoudemire. Nonetheless, it goes in with Jop defending.
They play that time by going inside. A lot of times when you see zone, you don't necessarily have to shoot jump shots.
Barea by Dragic. What great speed by J.J. Barea. 2 seconds left. Oh, and he stepped over the line, and it's going to be Dallas's ball to Dragic.
Well, Barea does a great job penetrating. I mean, you look at him out there and you say, this guy looks like he's about 5'8".
looks like the assistant at Duke.
Yeah, I call him Wojo today before the game. I said, Wojo Barea, and he knows Wojo. He's friends with him. He said, that's a compliment.
Yeah,
I like Wojo.
Yeah. I think anybody would take it that way. Williams, here's Terry. Oh, got it off in time. A three, and it will count. Jason Terry, who bobbled the ball, put it on. I know it's early in the season, but this guy right now, Doug, has got to be the front runner for the Sixth-Man Award.
Yeah, he's right now got the keys to that car for the end of the Sixth Man of the Year. We'll see if he can hold on to him. But right now, he's playing brilliantly. And for the Mavs, 52% field goal shooting.
The NBA on TNT tonight is presented by the United States Marine Corps. Dallas led the entire first quarter by as many as 9 against Terry Porter's Phoenix Suns, who Craig Sager caught up with moments ago.
Well, Coach, a very high-scoring quarter, but then at the end, it seems like Dallas got most of the points. What were the breakdowns there for you guys?
Well, we started the game off early, not doing our execution as far as at the defensive end. They really hurt us with their offensive rebounds. We got to do a much better job of taking care of that, so we can get out and run. We had some shots at the baskets, had double digits at the baskets. We got to finish those.
Obviously, Amari's your leading scorer. Dirk's theirs. Is that the way this game's going to go the rest of that way?
Well, they both are leading scorers. They're both going to get a lot of touches. So hopefully Amari can pick up and do a little bit better job, make Dirk work for some of his opportunities, and then finish at our end at the basket. All right.
Right now, Dallas, Doug, has their biggest lead tonight. And like last night in New Orleans, a big hole that the Phoenix Suns have got to dig out of.
There's a jump shot by Gorge, misses everything. But last night, they gave up 35 points in the first quarter to New Orleans, down 14 at the end of one. Here, down 11 already. We've only played about 30 seconds in this second period, so Suns digging themselves a hole.
Here is Barea driving inside on Hill, tapped up and off by Williams. And picked up by newly instated Boris Diaw. Here comes Dragic to Diaw. Never broke stride and races to the rim. He's out there with Barbosa, Hill, Dragic, and Stoudemire. That's the Phoenix 5. Jason Terry with Jop, Barea. They got Brandon Bass out there along with Sean Williams. That's the 5 for Dallas beginning this second quarter. A whistle away from the ball. It's interesting to see where Dallas is winning tonight, Doug, in the paint, fast break points, and on the bench.
Yeah, and they ended that quarter with a 5-0 run, the Barea layup, and then the mistake by Dragic taking the ball in bounds. Jason Terry hits a 3, so a 5-0 run to finish that quarter. More importantly, great momentum going into the second period.
Stoudemire picked up his first personal foul, and here comes Williams with the screen by Bass. The shot clock is down to 4. Dragic defending Barea. Boy, is he quick and hard to guard.
Well, he's got that little floater, too, which is what small guards should have. Anytime you see Tony Parker, and he's 6'3", but that little floater, that little teardrop where that big guy's running at you, and you just float it up over his outstretched hand, either off the backboard or just right over the front of that rim. It's going to be a traveling violation on Brent Hill, who's really struggling to get his game going tonight. But here's Barea once again, goes away from the screen. No weak side help, and points in the paint starting to mount up right now. That's 14 points in the paint for Dallas. Not a team that scores down in the paint very consistently. They're more of a perimeter-oriented team. Phoenix only 6 points in the paint, says really an unforced error there by Dallas in the turnover.
And you take a look at the turnover story this season for the Phoenix Suns. Pretty striking. This is a team that used to be so good in that category. They always kept the game moving, too. They didn't foul very much. They liked that baseline-to-baseline speed.
Well, you know, Steve Nash had his hands on the ball most the entire game, and so their turnovers are down this year. Their turnovers, their big guys are turning the ball over.
Barea trying to watch the taller Diaw. Rejected inside by Bass. Shot clock at 2. A quick three by Barbosa. He was defended by Terry. It's rebounded inside by Jop, and there's a foul. It's on Dragic.
Kevin, to finish up the turnover story, when you look at this season, Amari Stoudemire, 34 assists, 55 turnovers. Here's a block by Bass. 27 assists for O'Neal, 34 turnovers. Grant Hill, 35 assists, 37 turnovers. So Diaw has 30 turnovers. So the guys other than Steve Nash are the ones turning the ball over. And with other guys handling the basketball, they're making a lot of mistakes.
Dragic picks up his first personal foul. Robin Lopez has now come in the game. Top pick out of Stanford. Barea, who had a big three the other night against the Clippers. Defended by Lopez. Offensive rebound, another one by Dallas, this by Bass.
Rick Carlisle's got to be very happy right now. His team is winning the energy game. That loose ball is more important to them right now than is the Phoenix Suns.
8 offensive rebounds by Dallas.
Second shots will kill you. The multiple shot opportunities breaks your spirit.
Bass driving on Diaw.
This guy's a load down here now. This guy's strong. I like his game. Remember, he was with New Orleans as a rookie, and you talked about him coming out of LSU. New Orleans wasn't able to keep him. He comes over here to Dallas, and he's really developing into a nice player off that bench.
Dragic over Bass. Rebound by Sean Williams. Here comes Barea. Into Dragic. To John. What a pass! Lopez was all spun around, could not cover.
Well,
and a timeout.
Excuse me, Kevin. Barea right now is, I can't even tell you, his confidence is sky high. Driving the ball into the traffic. This has got to be the best start of the game right now for the Dallas Mavericks. They've been trying to find themselves. Here's Bass with the spinner. Josh Howard has been out. Jerry Stackhouse has been out. Devin George. They've had all kinds of injuries. Rick Carlisle is mixing and matching. They're on a 7-game homestand. They're hoping to get healthy here real quickly.
Come on, baby, make some noise. You might miss. That's okay. He shoot 50%. He gonna miss the next one. There you go. What an attack. They can't guard nothing in here.
That is Jason Terry coming off a 26-point game the other night against the Los Angeles Clippers. He has been as significant a sixth man as we have seen in this early NBA season, and part of a bench crew right now. All subs on the floor, Doug, and this bench is doing a terrific job for Dallas.
Well, anytime you can buy time like that and bring your bench in. The other night the bench had 64 points of the 100 points against the Clippers. Only 36 points of the starters, and 29 of those belong to Dirk Nowitzki.
Nash is back in. Williams is defending. Shot clock at 5. Mismatch against Williams, and Stevie Nash puts it in.
Well, when you start struggling, put Steve Nash in to settle your team down. The guy they're going to have to get going here, too, is Barbosa. He's a guy off this bench that can score. And I would look for Brandon Bass and Jason Terry to continue to try to carry the load with this unit that's on the floor right now.
Dallas at 53% from the field. The slithering Barea. Lopez was reaching in. And a foul on Diaw. Boris Diaw picks up his first personal foul. Boy, the points in the paint for the Mavericks just out of this world. They're averaging just under 40 a game, and they've already got 18 points.
Well, they average 36 a game, which is 22nd in the league. They already have 18, which tells you they're getting in the lane. They're getting second chance points. They're attacking the basket, and right now they're imposing their will on the Phoenix Suns.
So here is Barea out of Northeastern. National coverage of the NBA continues tomorrow on ESPN. The Blazers and Celtics, followed by the Raptors and Jazz. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern Time. Tuesday on NBA TV, it's fan night as the Raptors take on LeBron James and the Cavaliers. Coverage starts at 6:30 Eastern Time on NBA TV. Now the Suns the other way, Doug, and they're shooting 44% for the game. Mavericks in the midst of a 7-game homestand. This is a great way to get healthy. Great fake by Barbosa by Terry. Right past Terry, and picked up on the play On the rebound by Williams.
You know, Dallas's big men have done a nice job tonight. Jop and Dampier either blocking or changing shots. Here's the red-hot Jason Terry. Another offensive rebound, just out-hustling and out-muscling the Phoenix Suns right now. Those are just energy and effort plays right there, Kevin. Those are, as a coach, that's something you can't tolerate right there. You got to let the guys know we got to be tougher, and you got to come up with those loose balls.
How about this Williams, Doug, off the bench? 8 minutes and 6 rebounds already for the Mavs.
Well, he's making an impact without scoring. And that's what you have to do. And Barea has come in as a starter tonight. He's had his way. Here's the play at the end of the first quarter where he scored on the layup. He goes away from the pick here. A little play off the glass. Kisses the ball in off the window. The little give and go and the beautiful drop down pass to Zagana Jacques. So Barea, you take Jason Kidd out of the game, and they haven't missed a beat right now. So Rick Carlisle, new coach here, trying to find how the pieces fit here as well. You see the fast break story tonight, 10-2, bench points, paint points, all in favor of the Dallas Mavericks. And again, probably the best first half of basketball they've played here at home this year. They have not played well here, Kevin. Again, have shot 45% only one time at home this season. And this is a team that always has shot the ball well, especially in this building over the last 5 or 6 years.
Barea takes a seat. Kidd has just checked in. Jop gets it from Terry, knocked away by Hill, and out of bounds. And you just kind of alluded to this, 2 brand new coaches with 2 brand new schemes on teams that were pretty successful before they arrived.
Well, and especially when you come in as a new coach, there's things that you think are going to work, and then afterwards you find out that maybe that's not going to work. I'm going to have to make some changes. Rick Carlisle started out running a lot of the Princeton offense. He said, you know what, that doesn't work. We're going to go back to some different things. And Terry Porter's going to start going back to some of the things that have worked so well for them in the past here in Phoenix.
And a foul with the drive down low. With 7 minutes to play here in the second quarter. 1 player in double figures for the Suns, Stoudemire with 12. 1 player in double figures for the Mavericks. That's 14 for Dirk Nowitzki as Bass picks up his first personal foul. Bass will check out. Here is Nash. Lopez with a bit of a screen on Kidd. Rebound through the hands of Jop and picked up by Hill. Nash by Williams. Looking for Lopez. 1-2 pass. He should have just taken it himself.
Yeah, that's a play there that they've been making this year, turning that ball over. That's sort of indicative of the Phoenix Suns. That's why they're at almost 17 turnovers a game, which is last in the NBA.
Kidd working Terry. Nowitzki over Barbosa.
See, that's the bread and butter play they like. Jason Terry working off Nowitzki. They're 2 leading scorers playing and hope you make a mistake, and it's exactly what happened, and Nowitzki got the jump shot.
Jop with another rebound. Plus 10 the Mavericks are in rebounding tonight. Significant, and a lot of them on the offensive glass, as we've talked about.
Go back to that same play, Terry and Nowitzki. Make them stop it.
Shot clock down to 6. It's Kidd. Nash lets him fire from 3. Well, I'll tell you what, Jason Kidd has hit a lot of three-point shots, Doug, in his career. Number 10 all-time in three-point shooting made.
And he's shooting 42% this year, so he's not a great two-point shooter, but for his career, he's become a very good spot-up three-point shooter.
Diaw dancing. Nash over Nowitzki. Rebound by Jop. And Jason Kidd, who's number 3 in assists inside Terry. That was over Barbosa. That's a 2-point hit.
Well, Terry Porter's got to take a timeout right now. Dallas is running a clinic. They're getting whatever they want to get. Up 21 here tonight. Playing a very dispirited Phoenix team right now, playing with no enthusiasm or energy. There's that little 2-man game I talked about. Barbosa tries to switch it. Too late. Nowitzki knocks it down. Jason Terry, only the hottest guy in the NBA here over the last 4 games. You better know where he is. Rick Carlisle's happy. Terry Porter's not. And why not? Dallas up 21.
Welcome back to Dallas, where the Mavs are putting on a clinic, and they are doing it for the 7th straight game without Josh Howard. However, this is the one game they expected him to play. He's been out with a left ankle injury. He practiced Monday, tried to get himself ready for the game tonight, actually told Rick Carlisle today, hey, I'm ready to go, put me in the starting lineup. However, just before the game, the team doctor, Tarek Suriel, took a look at the ankle and was not happy that there was excess swelling that apparently had developed while Howard was preparing for the game tonight, he advised the coaching staff he did not think it would be a good idea if he played tonight. So once again, he is out. He has missed 2 games early in the year with a left wrist injury. As Doug mentioned, trying to find their way through the injuries. The Dallas Mavericks have had their starting 5, their first team, their best team on the floor. This is their 18th game for a total of 72 minutes so far this year.
Isn't that amazing? And Howard, Doug, is having a career year so far with 20 points and 8 rebounds. They miss him. And by the way, tonight, Rick Carlisle, Doug, started his 10th different lineup in 18 games.
Yeah, which tells you the terrific job that Rick Carlisle is doing. He's done a great job wherever he's been, whether it be Detroit or Indiana. And you think about the mess he had to sort through there in Indiana when they went through the situation in Detroit and all the suspensions and everything, how he had to manage all that. And he's a terrific coach, and it's great to see him back on the sidelines.
Dirk Nowitzki picked up his first personal foul. Let's set the lineups. We've had a lot of substitutions here. Kidd and Nowitzki in along with Dampier, Terry, Sean Williams. That's the Dallas 5. Barbosa, Nash, Diaw, Stoudemire, and Matt Barnes in there for the Phoenix Suns. Nowitzki has a game-high 16 points. Terry inside, he's bumped by Diaw, who picks up the personal foul. You know, when Diaw, as we see Shaq getting ready to come back in, Diaw picks up his second. A couple years ago when Amari was out, Diaw was thriving. He was as good a player as you could find at that position, and so versatile too. But since Stoudemire's come back, Doug, the last 4 years, his numbers have gone down precipitously each and every season.
Well, he's become less and less involved handling the basketball, and especially this year, he's playing strictly as a power forward, and where, you know, under Mike D'Antoni, he was very versatile. He handled the ball a lot. He made a lot of plays. You know, that has not been the case, and so they really miss his production, obviously. And, you know, when you look at this bench, this Phoenix bench, on paper, you know, Grant Hill, a former 7-time All-Star, Barbosa, former 6th man of the year, Diaw, one of the most improved players in the history, in the NBA. Here's a quick basket by Barbosa, so he was the most improved. So when you look at their decoration and all well they have done, but that has not come together this year at all, those 3 guys have really struggled to perform off the bench.
And they need their bench in the worst way, don't they? And outside is Nowitzki, hits another shot. Doug, he is 8 of 11.
Well, you know, Amari Stoudemire and Barbosa better talk here, because that's what they're going to see. Jason Terry and Dirk Nowitzki, 2-man basketball. There's a beautiful backdoor pass that's blocked at the basket.
And Kidd finds Terry over Barnes at the other end. A 2 will not go. Offensive rebound by Dampier. He puts it in. He's got 10. The Dallas Mavericks have 10 offensive rebounds tonight.
Well, he's got 3 baskets in the paint simply on hustle.
Phoenix 3 of 12 in this second quarter shooting. Kidd is on Stoudemire on the switch defensively, and that's a travel. Let's see what they call. They're going to talk it over.
Well, I think he got bumped before he walked.
Okay.
He got bumped, and then he took the extra step. So I think that's a good call. Watch now here as he goes. You're going to see a little bump right there, and then he hops. And so they ruled Jason Kidd fouled him. That's very similar to the play the other night that he got thrown out against at New Jersey. It was his second technical foul. He drove to the basket. They called him for walking. He got upset and sort of threw his fist in disgust. It was his second technical foul in about a 3-minute stretch. Phoenix was winning that game, and New Jersey came back to win that game. Devin Harris with 47 points on the heels of Dwayne Wade hitting them with 43.
Kidd picked up his first personal foul against the Nets. Amari Stoudemire ejected after receiving the first and second technical fouls. 8.5 left in the fourth. He got into it with Jarvis Hayes. 3:24 left. Trampling call, and got his second, was ejected.
And he's had six technical fouls this year, which is second behind Kendrick Perkins of the Celtics, who has 9.
Perkins says, I got 16 to go, you know, or 16 for the season. That's a missed shot outside by Terry. Nash let him fire, and rebound is pulled down. Stoudemire. Here's Amari into Jason Terry.
Everything's a jump shot, though, with Amari Stoudemire. He's got 1 basket in the lane. And you will live with him shooting that 15-foot jump shot, because even though he maybe shoots it better, would you rather him attacking you in the paint and trying to dunk the ball on you and get to the foul line? And Amari went through a stretch early in the year where he was shooting 8-10 free throws a night, and then went through a stretch where everything was a jump shot, not getting to the rim. And the Suns, Kevin, if you want to see an interesting statistic, in their wins, they attempt 31 free throws. and score 23 points. In their losses, they attempt under 20 and get about 15 points. So they're plus 8 points a game in their wins. Tonight, when you look at that free throw line, they are 5 of 6.
Yep.
So you keep them off the line, you're taking away from their effectiveness.
Shaq picked up his second personal foul. Bell has come in for Barbosa. And here is Stevie Nash. Finds a double, slips it inside to Stoudemire. That's
what I'm
exactly
talking
what.
about.
Yeah, I know. I was just going to say out of your mouth, and sure enough, here come the Suns executing it that way. You wonder sometimes, Doug, if they have given up maybe too early on their running game on this game that was so successful for them.
Well, what happened? Amari used to pick and roll hard down that lane, and now he's got into a habit of picking and popping for that jump shot. You know, he's got to get back to rolling down that lane hard, taking a defender with him, and if he doesn't get the shot, it'll open up a shot for someone else.
Dampier picks up his second foul. Nowitzki's 18, leading Dallas. 17 from Amari Stoudemire. That's the matchup Doug said he was going to watch tonight. Here's Barea, had it knocked away by Bell. Shot clock at 13. The second quarter clock at 3:26. Barea played. It's his third year in the NBA. He played a little bit in the D League. His first year. Slowly but surely has found a niche on this team. Kid to Dampier and to Shaq. And rebounded by Amari Stoudemire. Collects his fourth rebound tonight.
Now, if you're Phoenix right now, you just want to cut into this lead right now before halftime. Maybe get this down to 9 or 10 points. It's a 19-point game right now.
Stoudemire into Nowitzki. Again inside and point-blank range.
Go to your strength. Play to your strength. And Rick Carlisle is sort of feeling what I'm feeling right now. 3 minutes to go in the game. You've played very well in the first half. You don't want to let Amari Stoudemire and the Suns get on a run. You're up 17. You hear me talk about finish quarters, finish halves. Phoenix on a 7-1 run.
Yeah, it was ugly. I think if you're in a winning program for 4 or 5 years or however long we've been winning, it's tough to lose. You don't ever want to be around losing. You just expect to win, and it was not a good situation. You know, guys were not in a great mood. The atmosphere is not great in the locker room, in the bus, in meetings if you lose. So we had to get that ship turned around.
Well, they're above 500 for the first time this season. Doug, at home, they began 0-4. 0-4 for a team that has had great success here in this building.
Well, how about this? The year they went 67-15,
right.
They started 0-4.
Isn't that amazing?
I mean, so they ended up 67-11. That's the year they got their heart broken by Golden State in the first round.
And Dallas has lost 2 consecutive first-round playoff series. Last year against New Orleans. And here is Nowitzki working on Stoudemire with a shove and a foul. Was it on Bell? It was, and Raja picks up his first personal foul. 2:46 to play here in the second quarter. Look at Terry Porter, 17-year NBA veteran. As he cheers on his Suns, who have never led tonight, not one time, trailed by as many as 23 points. Let's go to Ernie Johnson in our TNT Arena. You got it. Thank you, AJ. We'll look forward to that. Nowitzki sticks right with Stoudemire. 19, a game high for Stoudemire. Nowitzki's got 18. Bell, Terry chasing him around. Barnes over Devin George, newly instated. And off of Shaq and out of bounds. Shaq did not play last night. You touched on this earlier. He starts tonight. Usually in a back-to-back, he'll start the game after the first.
And really hasn't had much of an impact tonight. Here's Dirk once again going to the basket. It's going to be a foul, and you can see Dallas in the attack mode, especially when they get into the penalty. They're one of the better free throw shooting teams in the league, and when you shoot them well, you want to get to the line. But Shaq really never has gotten any kind of rhythm tonight. You look at his numbers, Kevin, and he's played 15 minutes, only taken 2 shots. He is 2 of 2 from the line with 4 rebounds, but really has not had an impact on this game.
Stoudemire with his second foul. You know, I would think one of the most interesting things for a coach, Doug, and you've done this because you had Michael Jordan when he was over 40, is coaching an aging superstar. Like Terry Porter right now is coaching Shaq.
It's tough, but you know, the thing about it is Shaq came in last year and he said, look, I want to bring my championship experience to this team. I want to rebound and defend. I want to give some toughness in the paint. And he did that last year. When they got beat by the San Antonio Spurs, they got beat because they couldn't defend pick and roll. They couldn't keep Ginobili and Parker out of the lane.
You had Michael before he was even what he was. Here's Nash outside over Nowitzki with the three. You had Michael when he was young, and you had Michael when he was old. You have an incredible perspective on what a guy like Terry Porter is going through right now. Nash on Kidd, and his pass off the fingertips of Devin George, who's coming off a horrible season and trying to reclaim his career. He's had some injuries last couple of years, and that's the 5th turnover by the Dallas Mavericks.
Well, when he was at his best for the Lakers, he played good defense and he knocked down open threes.
And won 3 championships with that team. He was part of something real special. Nash to Shaq and over Dampier. Now that's what they got to do.
And he didn't rush that one. I thought the first couple he shot quickly. That time they were in a great set play, beautiful entry pass, and Shaq had Dampier on his back and just finished.
Suns trying to finish this first half strong after trailing by as many as 23. There goes Kidd. He goes down. And a foul called on Stoudemire, who picks up number 3.
But that's a bad foul. I mean, Amari Stoudemire is right in front of the referee. And Jason Kidd is setting a screen, and he just takes his arm and runs through him. That's his 3rd foul. I mean, not only that, you put them on the line for a couple free throws, but, I mean, the referee's standing right here. It's right in front of us, and he just takes his arm and basically shoves over Jason Kidd, who's about 225 pounds.
You know, a lot is being made, Doug, in columns all over the NBA about comparing the Kidd-Devin Harris trade from a year ago as the 3rd foul just went on Stoudemire. Hindsight is, of course, always clear. But the way Harris is playing right now, it's given, I think, people in Dallas a little bit of pause on what happened with that trade, because since Kidd has been here, they're 25 and 22.
Well, I think also, too, you got to go off what they end up doing this year, because you brought him in the mix last year and tried to fit him into what you were doing. This year with training camp, you've got a chance to implement the way he likes to play best. And let's see this year how it goes with him in terms of, you know, running a team that's looking to run more. With Avery Johnson, they were more of a half-court team.
Bell over Kidd. That sails out of bounds. What Doc Rivers said the other day when Iverson went to Detroit, when you bring in a brand new point guard, it like changes 75% of your offense. So imagine what Kidd coming to this team middle of last season did to Dallas.
Especially a team that wanted to play in the half court.
Yes, good point. He's an up-tempo guard as he's been his career. It's a 35-year-old Jason Kidd. Here's Dirk Nowitzki. MVP 2 years ago, knocked away by Boris Diaw. Shot clock is at 7. Terry, picked up by Bell. Nowitzki picked up by Bell. Wow. How about that possession? How about that possession? And Dirk Nowitzki now at 22.
How disheartening for Phoenix. They played great defense on that play for 24 seconds, and then he knocked the shot down. Here's Steve Nash coming right back with the quick 2 to answer.
Nash has 12 with 5 assists in the game in 17 minutes. Difference of 10 seconds. Game clock and shot clock. No fouls to give either way.
Flex offense that they're running here now with a little motion, and Dirk Nowitzki lighting it up here tonight with 24 points. How about 24 points on only 13 shots?
And 10 here in the second quarter for the 7th leading scorer right now in the NBA.
Talk about the other night against the Clippers. Took him 27 shots to get 29 points. Not tonight. He is on fire.
They switch defense again. Fake by Nash, and Nowitzki bit and crashes into his buddy Steve, and that's a foul. That's the 2nd foul on Dirk Nowitzki.
This is their best play, 2-man game with Jason Terry and Dirk Nowitzki. Almost looked like he was behind the basket. That was right as the shot clock winds down, and I have to laugh when I see Dirk Nowitzki bite on a pump fake from Steve Nash. How many times do you think they played one-on-one in the back gym here at the arena here in Dallas when they were both younger players, came in together, used to go in the gym, best of friends, and just go at each other one-on-one? And Dirk, I'm sure Steve Nash said to him, I got you on that one.
Well, Nowitzki, of course, a high percentage shooter, low turnover rate, great free throw shooter. He gets about as much out of every possession as any player in the league.
He's shooting over 50% from the floor.
George into Shaq. Rebounded by Barnes, and that takes us to halftime. Well, Dallas has made a very strong statement. They led wire to wire in the first half by as much as 23. They got 10 off the bench from Terry. He was very efficient. They got a game-high 24 from Dirk Nowitzki. He is 10 of 13 from the field. He's been terrific. They're shooting 53% to Phoenix's 44%. Barea has been wonderful in the starting role. And what has been the 10th different lineup in 18 games this season For a team like Dallas trying to come out of a horrible 2-7 start, they've won 7 of 8. One of the reasons why is Jason Terry, who's standing by with our Craig Sager.
Well, you're right, Kevin. That two-man game between Dirk Nowitzki and Jason Terry combining for 34 of the Mavs, 64 points. Why is it so effective, particularly tonight?
Well, it's been effective for us for 5 years now, and the thing about it is we play well off of each other. So either I set a pick on him or he sets one on me, and you got to pick your poison.
You've started 5 games, but most of the time coming off the bench, averaging 27 points the last 4. Tonight, you had a comfortable lead. You came out towards the end of the second quarter. They went on a 6-1 run. You're right back in after a 38-second rest. How do you stay ready on the bench?
Well, you have to. I mean, in this profession, you always got to be ready. Josh Howard, our superstar, is out, so we got to do it together collectively. Barea gets the start tonight. He's doing an excellent job.
Well, Terry and Nowitzki, both superstars so far. The Mavs leading 64-46 at intermission. We'll take a short break. Come back with the Team Mobile Halftime Report with EJ, Kenny, Charles, and Sewell.
It's a chilly night in Big D. Tonight's HD aerials are presented by Turbo HD by Dish Network. All the Dallas Mavericks have led the entire first half by as many as 23 points. Suns haven't had a lead. Kevin Harlan along with Doug Collins. What is your read on Phoenix? I mean, what's their pulse?
Well, right now it's weak, faint, dispirited, lack of enthusiasm. Yeah. They've lost that mojo, that thing that made them swagger, feel good about themselves. They got to find a way to get that back, and they got to bring up their energy level defensively. Kevin, 2 30-plus point quarters for the Dallas Mavericks, 64-point half, and all the energy and hustle plays, rebounding, points in the paint, fast break, bench. Everything was Dallas.
Early on, Stoudemire kind of got him going.
Well, he got off to a great start. A lot of it shooting early jump shots, and then he went to work a little bit in the paint. It's a nice little offensive rebound that he follows up, finishes with a nice roll, the three-point play. And then Dirk Nowitzki's been magnificent. 24 points, 13 shots, and Craig Sager talked to Jason Terry at halftime about that two-man game between he and Jason Terry Nowitzki, and they were brilliant in the first half. They combined for 34 points, but this is a Dallas team that has struggled to shoot the ball at home. Again, only one time that they shot above 45% this year at home. Tonight, 53%. They've gotten to the foul line, the rebounds, fast break. Phoenix averaged 17 points a game on the fast break last year. They have 6 tonight. On the year, they're getting about 11, so 7 less points on the break. And last year, Phoenix outshot their opponents from the three-point line for plus 6 points a game. This year, last year behind the three-point. This year, they're being outscored at the three-point line. So, Kevin, those things we talked about, fast break and three-point shooting, have not been there for Phoenix this year.
Here is Nowitzki, picked up by Stoudemire. Barea, Kidd, Nowitzki, Dampier, along with Devin George out there for the Dallas Mavericks as Nowitzki pops one in. He's got 26.
See, Stoudemire is just not comfortable guarding the perimeter player. Remember last year that would have been Sean Marion guarding him. He used to get that task.
Kidd lets Stoudemire fire.
Well, Stoudemire's got that jump shot rolling. He's now 9 of 14 from the floor. He has 21 points. So this is a shootout between Nowitzki and Stoudemire, 26-21 right now in favor of Dirk.
Shaq and Stoudemire. Bell is out there. Nash, Barnes. That's the 5 on the floor to start the second half for the Phoenix Suns. Devin George had the ball knocked away by Steve Nash.
Correct, right in the head that time by Shaq. I think he went up that rebound. His elbow came down right on the top of his head.
A couple former teammates in Los Angeles. Shot clock is down to 6 for Jason Kidd. Shaq is on Dirk. Kidd over Nash. Rebounded by Bell, torn away by George, and that is a foul. Loose ball foul will be called on Kidd. Let's check it with Craig Sager. I was trying to figure out why he had his color clothes on tonight. We're in Dallas Cowboy country, and he's he's representing them well. Sags, what do you got?
More on the Cowboys later, but Doug mentioned that
Okay,
the Suns looked dispirited, lack of enthusiasm. That was not the case for their coach, Terry Porter, at halftime. He laid into the team. He said, listen, we got to accept the challenge. We have to compete. We have to play the game. He said, we are not out there playing as if we even care. He mentioned the fact that the two-man game was working so well. He said they have to be more aggressive, have to switch that. He said we can't get in a rhythm. We have to take the ball to the basket every time. You aren't stopping anybody. It's probably the most adamant he's been so far this year at halftime.
Good report. What a screen by Shaq moments ago. And now he gobbles up a rebound on the Barea miss. And here comes Nash. Nash used to just dribble all over the place. Guys would be moving. There'd be so much motion, cutting and slashing and trying to get open. And there's a lot of standing around with this Phoenix team as Nash supposed to find an open player and does. Here's a 2 by Barnes. Outside picked up by George.
Well, that's a little bit of that freelance that Steve Nash likes to do. But remember now, they're starting a bigger lineup with O'Neal and Stoudemire. So they have 2 bigger guys on the floor. So it used to be sort of 3 guys out behind that 3-point line playing pick and roll off Amari. They've lost a lot of that spacing, so he doesn't have nearly as much room to work as he used to.
And a timeout. Phoenix on a 7-2 start. Back in Dallas, home of the Cowboys, in a ceremony earlier today, the Cowboys' new stadium hosted a event where the final beam was signed by construction workers and then installed under the watchful eye of Cowboy owner Jerry Jones. The stadium's going to host the 2010 NBA All-Star Game, but not before the Cowboys and owner Jerry Jones open the structure next fall for the start of the NFL season. And we've got some Cowboys in attendance tonight. Friday and Saturday will be here. That is Roy Williams in the middle. To the left, you see in the background Terrell Owens. In the foreground, you see Patrick Creighton. Now, back there some places are Craig Sager, who looks like he is a Cowboys mascot with his outfit tonight. If you could see the shoes, you'd bring it. Here's Nowitzki, who could play for the Cowboys over Bell, and the rebound by Nash.
Well, finally, Phoenix getting some defensive stops, getting a chance to run here, cut into this lead, 7-2 here to start this period.
Stoudemire by George. Taken by Dampier. Kidd ahead to Devin. Banging into Bell. And a foul. You talked about what a couple guys can do for a team. Stoudemire's got 21. Kidd has 16. Kind of an interesting matchup right there. It should be Nash. It's wrong. But anyway, they've combined for 37 points of the 53 the Suns have scored.
See, just when you've got an opportunity there maybe to cut into that lead a little bit more, Amari Stoudemire turns the ball over. And I think what they're going to say is that Devin George fumbled the ball. And when he did, he lost possession. And so it's not a 2-shot foul. So let's see here. There's the turnover, the knock away from behind. And let's see if he fumbles this ball. Right there's the fumble. And therefore, he did not have control of the ball. That's why they said it's not a 2-shot foul.
Nowitzki a screen for Kidd, knocked out Nash, and a rebound offensively for Nowitzki, who's picked up now by Barnes. Barnes picks up a foul defending Dirk Nowitzki. It's a third on Matt Barnes.
The Suns are doing a little bit better job here in this third quarter. You're not seeing the rhythm in the offense, and I think you can see Rick Carlisle feels that, so he's coming in with Jason Terry to run that lethal 2-man game with Dirk Nowitzki. So J.J. Barea will have a seat here. Jason Terry steps in to play in the backcourt with Jason Kidd.
Terry's got 10 over Stoudemire and rolls one in from outside. How about that?
You know what a luxury it is to have a guy you can bring off the bench who can be cold like that and come in and score a basket the first time he touches the ball.
And look at the bench scoring right there as you see Stoudemire. And I think embraces the role as Shaq works inside on Dampier. Rebound by Stoudemire. Another Dampier knock away. Dampier vacuums it in off to Kidd, ahead to Terry, into Nash, to the trailing Nowitzki. That's a charge, offensive foul on Dirk. But you know, if you're going to put a guy like I think of Lamar Odom with the Los Angeles Lakers, it took some time, but he is embracing that 6-man role as Terry is doing here in Dallas.
Well, the guy, Ginobili, you know, when he moved from being an all-star and a starter to go to the bench for San Antonio to create a bench for that team. And the punch he gives his team off the bench, that's what Jason Terry brings to the Mavericks.
Over Nowitzki and Stoudemire, rebound by Dampier. Dirk just picked up his third personal foul. Here comes Kidd. And Dirk is 11 of 15. Switch on defense. Stoudemire fouls Dampier. Nice ball rotation to George over Barnes. That's a three.
That's that pick and roll once again where they got the switch. That time it was Dirk Nowitzki. They ran it the first play of the game. He runs a pick and roll with Dampier. And then you have to help inside after the switch. You move the ball and you get the open jump shot.
Inside Shaq from point blank range. Defended by Dampier. Also gets the rebound. His 13th for Dallas. Kidd and Nowitzki. Nowitzki over Stoudemire. Rebound by Barnes. Nash. Stoudemire couldn't get it. Dampier with another rebound, and Kidd races the other way. And to Dirk over Barnes for an easy two.
And now all of a sudden, Terry Porter is going to have to think about calling a timeout. Jason Terry comes into the game. What is that, a 7-0 run or 6-0 run since he's come back?
7-zip.
7-zip run. So he comes off the bench. Rick Carlisle calls his number, and he gets Dallas a nice run here. The steal once again. That's 2 turnovers in the last 3 possessions from Mari Stoudemire.
Over Bell, it's Jason Terry for 3. An offensive rebound by Dirk, but stolen by Bell. He works into Terry at the other end.
Nice hustle that time by Raja Bell getting that loose ball.
He's got his first 2 right there. Hard to believe, isn't it? Already deep in this third quarter. First 2 points right there for Raja. 1 of 5. Stoudemire with 21, Dirk with 28. Off the bench, 12 for Terry. Nowitzki crashing. Dampier left free.
Well, you got it rolling when Dampier starts making that baseline jump shot. You know, that's what happens when you give a guy 3 layups. All of a sudden, that jump shot looks pretty sweet.
Because they're not going to cover him outside.
Oh, no.
Nash, Dirk defending. Stoudemire to Barnes with the corkscrew moving and traveling inside on the Phoenix first-year player.
I tell you, Kevin, quietly, Dampier and Jop have done a nice job tonight. They have forced some travels around the basket. They forced a couple misses. And, you know, their numbers are not going to blow you away. But Dampier, what is that, 14 rebounds tonight?
And 9 points.
I mean, that's a month's work for him.
Avery Johnson always said when Dampier is playing well and engaged, if he's getting his rebounds and his blocks, if the foul went on Stoudemire for a 4th time, our whole team seems to respond. That was true. When he played well, Dallas always played well as a team.
And remember, he and Shaq have always had a little something. Shaq said something about him a few years ago. So I'm sure Dampier is trying to come out here with his best game tonight, playing against Shaquille.
Nowitzki to George, and George to Kidd. Terry over Shaq for 2. I think Shaq may have altered the shot, and they get a shot clock violation.
Yeah, shot clock winding down there. Jason Terry had no place to go and really got caught with the ball in his hands. And Shaq did a nice job getting out there and getting a piece of that.
Shaq looks good to me. I mean, he looks nimble, and he looks okay. Nash to Stoudemire into Dampier. Another missed dunk and a foul.
But you notice when they run that play to Shaq's side, meaning when Steve Nash comes towards Shaq, as he comes towards Shaq, there is no help on that side. Twice they've run that. When they run it the other way and Amari tries to roll, there is no place to go. Here, Shaq is on the same side, so Dampier has a tough time getting there. So, you know, if I'm Steve Nash, I start probing that towards Shaq's side. So then Amari has that free roll to the basket to get a dunk or a couple free throws.
Dampier picks up his 3rd foul with Amari Stoudemire at the free throw line, where he is 4 of 4 tonight in a Phoenix side 22. And I say that about Shaq looking good. I mean, just in terms of, he didn't look heavy. I mean, you know, I'll go back to something you said back in the first half with the graphic that helped explain it. He was able to work in the previous Phoenix speeding offense.
Well, he's rebound, defend, and push the ball up the floor. And if you don't have a break, then Shaq comes down and gets himself in the post. It's a lot like Pat Riley used Kareem Abdul-Jabbar late in his career with the Los Angeles Lakers. In fact, his transition game, he called it last, and that meant Jabbar was the last man down. As once again, you get the switch, that 2-man game with Terry and Nowitzki. They're working at the perfection, and Raja Bell just too short to cover it.
Dirk has 30. Stoudemire is screen over Nowitzki. It's Nash. Steve is 6 of 9. Kidd is 1 of 4. Terry 4 of 10. Rebounded by Bell.
See, it's a lot more early offense than they used to run with Avery Johnson. Avery wanted to run a lot more half court, but Rick Carlisle said he wants 40% of his offense to be in transition, early offense, and taking those jump shots.
Stoudemire wheels right into Dampier.
Amari, I'm going to show you the tape here. You can listen, but you get yourself down in that paint and go to work, and they can't stop you down there. I mean, that's anytime he's gotten in the paint, he's had success.
He'll go to an all-star game again. He's got 25 in the game and 6 in this third quarter. Does Stoudemire. Kid, who has 7 assists, finds Dirk. Stoudemire defending. Wow, as Nowitzki on, he is 14 of 19 with 32.
Now, that's a horse shot there. That's a one-footer stepping back.
8 in the quarter for Nowitzki. Nash to Shaq, and Shaq defended by Dampier.
See, Dampier did a nice job on that, Kevin. He did not give up the alley-oop, and he forced Shaq to shoot over the top of him to take a contested shot.
Dallas Mavericks are shooting 51%, and the Phoenix Suns are shooting 42%. Dirk again. Oh, he's got every chamber filled tonight. Stoudemire defending. Dirk Nowitzki is putting on a show with 35 points on a 15 of 20 shooting night. This ties the biggest lead for the Dallas Mavericks. Everything is going in.
But we talked about it before the game. Thinking forward, Dirk Nowitzki was the center of attention, and he sure has not let down our national TV audience tonight. 35 points.
Nowitzki backing Barea. Nice spin, and he's struck. Nowitzki with room. Yes. Now Nowitzki off the dribble. Nowitzki for 3. Yes. 50 points.
That's the voice of our lead broadcaster, our Hall of Famer Marv Albert, watching Dirk Nowitzki score 22 of his 50 points in the fourth quarter as the Mavs beat the Suns in Game 5 of the 2006 Western Conference Finals. The NBA and Turner Sports, 25 years and counting. Great night tonight, 35, 15 of 20, and 5 boards.
Excuse me, Kevin. Rick Carlisle tonight knows his team well. Felt his team slipping a little bit in that third quarter. The Suns had cut it to 13. You put Jason Terry in the game since then, a 16-6 run to push it back to 23.
Diaw is in the game, looking for Stoudemire on the alley-oop. Nowitzki defended. Knocked away by a kid from behind, and 15 seconds on the shot clock. Here's a change now for Dallas as Brandon Bass will take the place of Dampier, and I'll second what you said about Dampier. He's had a nice game, 14 points, defended well, all the shots. He's also got 9 points and 3 blocks.
And Brandon Bass comes in, who gives him a better offensive player. Here is Amari Stoudemire off the nice set play. So Brandon Bass, you lose some size with Dampier not in the game, but you get a better offensive player. This is a well-executed set play, and Amari Stoudemire once again with that powerful finish.
If you had a player, Doug, who said, as Amari did last week, I want to be the featured player on this team, and I'm not sure if Terry Porter, my coach, will allow that. I want to be like LeBron and Wade. I mean, how would you take that as a coach?
Well, I think that the one thing is you say, look, I'm going to do my best to put you in a position to be as successful as you can be, but I need you to do other things than just score. You got to get double-figure rebounds for me. When it's not going for you, you got to be able to defend. As Dirk Nowitzki has not hit the rim yet now here tonight, but you know, you got to your imprint has to be in the game in other ways. It just can't be scoring. It's got to be rebounding. It's got to be defending. All these other things, and you know, Amari right now allows his offense to dictate how well he does those other things, and that has to be constant. Defense and rebounding at the power forward position have to be a constant, and he's going to get his 20 to 25 to 28 points every night because he's going to be in an opportunity to get that many shots. And if you look at it tonight, Kevin, he's taken 20 shots. And we still got, 14 minutes to go in the game.
Williams has come in for George. Here's a 3 by Barnes. That's his second triple tonight. He had 3 last night in New Orleans. Evan George picked up his second personal foul. He'll go to the Dallas bench. So it's Nowitzki and Terry, Bass, Sean Williams, and Kidd with the ball. Barnes is now defending Dirk. They've got 3 different guys on him. Kidd lasers it over to Terry, over Nash. That's a 3.
That's the way they move the ball, though. See, with Matt Barnes on Dirk Nowitzki now, he needs a little help in the post, and when you double team, you move the ball, Jason Kidd make the extra pass. Here's Steve Nash, who has played well tonight, documented his 7-pound loss to the flu, but he's coming out and playing with that same toughness and energy we expect from Steve Nash.
There was a nice screen by Diaw on that last play. On the hit by Nash, a miss by Dirk Nowitzki. Williams is on Nash. A foul called on Sean Williams. That's the first on Williams. Rick Carlisle is the new coach of Dallas, taking the place of Avery Johnson. Avery Johnson was the coach of the year a couple years ago, and there's Rick Carlisle. He was the coach of the year with the Detroit Pistons a couple years ago.
The coach of the year tag right now is sort of a kiss of death. Wow.
That's not good. This Sunday, the librarian returns. From the producer of Independence Day comes the librarian. The curse of the Judas Chalice. It stars Noah Wiley. The final chapter begins Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Only on TNT. 1:32 to play here in the third quarter. Second game tonight, San Antonio and the Denver Nuggets. Who would have thought that Denver would be in third place right now in the Western Conference?
I sure would have, after really giving away Marcus Camby, worrying about the injuries to Nene and Kenyon Martin. And you make the deal. Chauncey Billups has gone in there fit like a glove, and they are playing great basketball. About 132 points the other night against Toronto. Really was Sam Mitchell's last game after they lost that game. That was it.
Look at the small lineup now for Phoenix. And a foul. And that will go on Nash. That is number 1. The tall scout there is, Diaw is 6'10", and Amari is 6'10".
See, but, Boris Diaw should be playing Nowitzki right now. And he's bigger and stronger, because right now they're going into the post to Nowitzki. They're double teaming, and then they're opening up 3-point shooting.
Barnes is 6'7", but a feisty defender nonetheless. Stoudemire tried to guard Bass and held on to his waist, and a foul called on Amari Stoudemire. That's number 5 on him. Just talking about the Denver Nuggets, and Chauncey Billups has had such a positive impact. And you can see since Chauncey going back home to Denver, he was a former Colorado High School Player of the Year, played at CU, 12-3. In contrast, you look at Iverson with Detroit, they're right about 500 with AI and the Pistons.
Well, it's the speed at which they play. I mean, Allen Iverson plays at warp speed, and so right now the Pistons are trying to adjust to that, the speed with which he plays. And Chauncey Billups, more of a methodical point guard, a little more rhythmic. And to me, the interesting thing about Denver, I had the game last week with Marv, and they got their heart broken at the end against New Orleans, but they're depending on Nene and Kenyon Martin staying healthy, 2 guys who've had a lot of injuries over the last 3 or 4 years.
Grant Hill is coming for Amari Stoudemire. Nash to Diaw. Diaw into Dirk. There's Boris Diaw, who's trying to find his rhythm this season. Not a different place to shoot to. That elbow was always his favorite place.
Well, he's playing more as a power forward now. You're not seeing him out in that position.
Right. Dirk looking for the assist with Williams having it stripped by Grant Hill. Here comes Steve Nash. Nash has 9 assists outside Bell over Terry for a 3.
What a great play, though, by Grant Hill. He was beaten on the play, jumped in the air at the last moment, reached down and knocked that ball away instead of giving up 2. The Suns counter with a 3-point shot.
No fouls to give either way, and here's Brandon Bass. And Nowitzki, 37 points. Phoenix on a 7-1 run. Hill guarding Terry. Rebounded by Diaw. The seconds remain.
They've gone to a small lineup, basically. That's, when they have been at their best in the past, go small, spread the floor, shoot the 3.
Screen by Hill that knocked out Barea. Nash had the open shot. Rebound by Dirk, his 6th rebound, and that's how we end the third quarter.
That would have been a big shot, Kevin. That would have cut it to 11, a very much of a working margin. The Suns would have finished the quarter with back-to-back 3s. Dallas still in control, up 14.
Phoenix closes out that quarter on a 15-6 run on TNT. The NBA on TNT is presented by the United States Marine Corps. Dallas has led the entire game and by as many as 23. And moments ago, our Craig Sager caught up with the Mavericks' new head coach, Rick Carlisle.
Well, Coach, after a couple of 30-point quarters in the first half, Phoenix now cut the lead down to 14. What went wrong, or how were they able to do that?
Well, they went small. They hit some threes on us, got back in the game a little bit. We're just going to have to keep our energy up and do a better job of matching up.
A couple of times when they've gone on runs, you put Jason Terry back into the game. How much confidence do you have in JT?
Well, he's been playing great for us, and you know he's basically a starter, but the ability to bring him off the bench gives us something to go to if we hit a lull. So you know we're going to need him tonight.
Rick Carlisle, who has a 63% winning percentage with the Detroit Pistons and the Indiana Pacers. Here we go, start the fourth quarter. Barbosa on the fly, and they kind of let him shoot that. He's out there with Diaw, Bell, Hill, and Barnes. Shooters, active players all for the Phoenix Suns.
Well, let's see if Dallas can go inside maybe with Brandon Bass to punish maybe a smaller front line, although Diaw should be able to handle him down in that post.
Here's Barnes watching Terry. Here is Bell, who is knocked out, and Bass.
Caught his own missed shot, the air ball. That's walking violation. So 12-point game here, Kevin, and Steve Nash resting. Let's see if they can still cut into this lead and Nash come back. It's going to be a moving pick on Diaw.
You put it on Barea. Barea out there with Bass, Nowitzki, Williams, and Jason Terry. Here comes Barea. As Doug said, Nash resting. So is Jason Kidd. Jason Terry, 5 of 13. 15 points tonight off the bench. Hill defending.
Roger Bell really fighting Dirk down in that post. Did not let him catch the post.
2 to shoot. Here comes Barea over Barbosa. Dirk goes down. Ball is loose. Picked up by Diaw. Ahead it goes to Barbosa. Bell. Diaw has the mismatch against Terry and exploits it.
This small lineup has bothered the Dallas Mavericks. When you heard Rick Carlisle talk to Craig Sager, they've cut into this. This is when Phoenix is comfortable, playing with a smaller lineup, pushing the ball. They've actually done a pretty good job here defensively, and right now this is a 10-point game, and Dallas starting to get a little nervous.
Down by 23, Phoenix now to within 10 of Dallas. And recently, Suns forward Stoudemire was awarded the NBA Community Assist Award for the month of October. Stoudemire was recognized for his ongoing community outreach efforts, which included a recent $50,000 donation to the Z Community Development Foundation to assist the rehabilitation of water wells throughout Sierra Leone. The NBA, recurring happiness. Another great program in the NBA family. Doug Collins and Craig Sager, Kevin Harlan. Stoudemire began with a bang, 28 points and 5 rebounds. He is on the bench right now.
And now Dallas has gone small. They've come in with Barea, so they now have Kidd, Barea, and Terry, so they have a 3-guard lineup to try to match up with the Suns' smaller lineup.
And in this, Kidd plays the small forward, correct?
Exactly, and they're going to try to go into the post. This is going to be off the leg of Sean Williams, so all of a sudden the Phoenix Suns have gone small. They've got energy. They're getting some defensive stops, and they're right back in this ball game.
How many times do you think Kidd has played small forward in his career?
Probably back when he was in high school in Oakland, playing in the back of the zone.
Good call. He had a 13-point swing in the last 4.5 minutes. As Barbosa tried to drive, he was defended by Williams. He fumbled the ball, and it goes back to the Dallas Mavericks.
Well, 2 back-to-back turnovers now for Phoenix. You had a moving pick on Diaw. This time, Barbosa loses the handle and throws the ball off the backside of the backboard. So turnovers have been very good for Phoenix tonight. Only 11 in the game. Remember, they've been averaging over almost 17, which is last in the league. So they've done a pretty good job taking care of the ball tonight.
Barea started 3 of 10. Dumps it off inside. A hustling Williams had to fight off all kinds of defenders, including Barnes and Diaw, and he gets the 2.
If they could get something out of Sean Williams, he could really help that bench. It's really good right now, especially when Josh Howard comes back into the starting lineup.
Williams gets his first 2. Barbosa over Nowitzki. Rebound fought for Kidd and Barnes, and a foul called on Matt Barnes, who picks up his 4th personal foul. The back doesn't look like it's an issue, Doug, tonight. It was last night, but not tonight.
Yeah, he said he came down funny last night. Land already said he gutted out 32 minutes in that game.
Barea over Barnes. Wow.
Well, when you have a play that's working, go back to it. That's twice in a row. Barea's run that screen roll. Sean Williams got a layup. Barea gets the jump shot. And when you're playing from behind, as the Phoenix Suns have done all night long, it takes a lot of energy out of you, Kevin. They had cut it to 10. It's back to 14, and that clock starts becoming the ally of the Dallas Mavericks.
We got to keep our eyes wide, alert, all right, and our juices flowing, especially on defense, all right? Hey, we win this game, we go ahead of these guys in the standings. We go into 7th place.
Even in December, it matters, and that's what you keep your eye on right there. You can see Dallas and where they are. Now, they began the season 2-7, so this is the first time they've been above 500 all year. Here comes Grant Hill. Begins to make a move inside. Small lineup for Phoenix has kind of gotten them back in here. Here is a quick foul. It goes on Barea, and it's the first on the third-year player.
Well, the interesting name you did not see on that list right now is San Antonio. They actually are tied with Dallas, but if on the tiebreaker system right now, Dallas would get in. I know it's very early, but that's why you did not see San Antonio's name on that list.
Good point. Hill goes into Nowitzki, rebounded by Sean Williams.
Grant Hill still scoreless in this game in almost 16 minutes of play. He's had 2 other games that he's been scoreless off the bench, so still struggling to find a rhythm playing off that Phoenix bench.
Barea guarded by the 6'10 Diaw. Out of bounds, fumbled away by Barea.
Barea tried to create contact on Diaw that time, and Greg Willard had no part of that.
12 turnovers for the Dallas Mavericks, and 10 make it 11 for the Phoenix Suns. Now 12. Barea, the jet Terry. Outracing Diaw, outracing Bell, and the lead 94-78 for the Dallas Mavericks.
Now, Leandro Barbosa is not a point guard. He's a 2-guard, and with this attack, I think Grant Hill should have the ball in his hands. Let Barbosa run off the screens and do what he does best.
And Diaw finds an open Hill for 3. Barnes tries to tap it back in. Defended by Nowitzki. As the Mavericks are on a 6-0 run and a lead of 94-78, 8:18 to play in the fourth. Williams picks up number 2. Sags, what do you have?
Well, Phoenix playing without Stoudemire is on that bench with 5 fouls. He's very restless, trying whatever he can to stay warm. As you can see, he's got a hot pack on his back. He's been running wind sprints up and down on the sidelines, trying to tell the coach, I'm ready to go back in. He's obviously in some type of discomfort from sitting so long. That's why he had the hot pack on there and was doing the wind sprints. Kevin?
Thank you, Sags. The Dallas Mavericks have taken 7 more shots from the field tonight because they've had more offensive rebounds.
And now turnovers starting to haunt the Suns. They've had 3 turnovers in this quarter. You had a moving pick on Diaw and 2 turnovers Barbosa, who again is just not comfortable being the guy that runs an offense. He's more the finisher.
And Nowitzki's got 37 picked up by Barnes. Here's Barea getting a screen from Dirk. He goes by Barbosa. Does Barea, and a foul called on the Phoenix Suns. 5 seconds were left on the shot clock, so they worked it down hard. And the foul on Barnes, it's number 5. Here he comes. Boy, Sags, a timely report. Here comes Stoudemire back in the game after this first free throw by Barea. 7:58 to play. Let's see the great numbers by Amari tonight. National coverage of the NBA continues tomorrow on ESPN. The Blazers and Celtics, followed by the Raptors and Jazz. Coverage at 7:30 Eastern Time. Then on NBA TV on Tuesday, it's fan night as the Raptors will take on LeBron James and the Cavaliers. Coverage at 6:30 Eastern Time. Sam Mitchell was let go by Toronto.
Yeah, it's sad. Anytime you get a coach fired, I've been fired, and it's no fun. I don't care how much money they owe you or whatever. It's a tough thing to go through, and Sam has done a great job and Coach of the Year, and I'm sure we'll see him as a head coach again once in this league. But Kevin, it's no fun to get fired.
And Nowitzki tries to dig it out and does. The Suns have missed their last 5 shots and a travel on Kidd. Well, just extending that conversation, both these head coaches have been fired before. Twice, Carlisle.
Well, you never really have coached until you've been fired. You know, it's sort of like sort of a badge of honor once you've gone through it before. Then the next time is not quite as much of a sting to it, but that first time is devastating.
Diaw defended by Nowitzki. Rebound by the 5'10 Barea. In the land of the Giants, the little guy gets the ball.
Now, do you think when they went to training camp that Rick Carlisle was counting on Barea doing this for his team? I mean, this time.
What a play with the left hand. J.J. Barea. He's got 15.6 coming in the fourth quarter.
Now, this sort of the shades of the other night against the Clippers where he had 15 and had a big fourth quarter.
Including what turned out to be the game winner, a three-point shot, which gave Dallas their first lead and eventually the win. You're right. Good corkscrew move inside by Grant Hill.
You see Grant getting much more aggressive, though. That's what he has to do. Get that ball in his hands and attack. That's what he is, a slashing, cutting player.
Screen by Williams. Barea to Terry. Terry picked up by Diaw. JT was 6 of 14 from the field.
Oh my!
What a shot that was right there. He's got 19 points.
Oh, that was a tough shot. I mean, Diaw was all over him, defended it well. That was just a great shot.
Back to a 20-point lead. Over Nowitzki, it's Grant Hill. Rebound by Dirk. He has collected 8 rebounds with his 37 points.
Steve Nash been on the bench a long time here too.
We're halfway through and the team's down by 20. I don't know if he's going to get back in.
He might be waiting to see if they got a chance to make a run. Otherwise, he might just finish it up with this group.
Here's Kidd, 1 of 4. Terry picked up by Diaw. And rebounded by Barnes. Starting tonight.
Oh, another bad pass. Just see the wrong guys are handling the ball. That's why you get these turnovers. I mean,
what a pass by Kidd to Nowitzki. And rebounded by Barnes. Ahead to Hill. By Kidd, by Barea. That's a 36-year-old Grant Hill moving pretty good out there.
And I think Grant Hill wants to come out of the game. I think he might have tweaked something a while ago, the possession before, but I think Grant's dad, Calvin, is here tonight, the former star running back of the Dallas Cowboys. He does a lot of work here. Talked to Grant the other day, and he said his dad was going to be at the game tonight.
4-time Pro Bowler Grant Hill. There's a nice little spin move inside by Dirk Nowitzki with a game-high 39. Barbosa. Barnes over Barea for 3. Rebounded by Williams.
Pat Barnes shoots a very flat shot. I was reading an article today, and he said that's the way I always shoot the ball. He said even when I'm shooting it well, the shot is very flat.
Nowitzki. He's got a 39-point performance tonight. That ties a season high. Diaw into Stoudemire. And Dirk defending. Tapped it out to Terry with another rebound by Dirk Nowitzki. 9 now for Dirk. He'll get the double-double. Looks like he's had a double-double in 5 of the last 6 games for Dallas.
Well, when the Phoenix Suns cut the lead to 10 with a small lineup, Rick Carlisle countered and went to a smaller lineup. 3 guards, brought in Barea with Jason Terry, and there's the man of the hour, Barea, right there for 3. Just see J.J. Barea coming out party on TNT tonight.
18 for Barea.
That's got to be a career high, isn't it?
Nope.
What's his career high?
What I got? 25.
25.
What was that? That was a D-League play, huh?
Whoa. Sorry, JJ. I discounted you. He's spotting up and shooting well. Tonight he started in place of Gerald Green, who's really been struggling. But you have to start thinking this Dallas Maverick team, they get Josh Howard back, and they found some pieces here through these injuries. Guys have gained the confidence of Rick Carlisle, so they're looking to sweep this 7-game homestand. This would be number 2.
For the Marines teamwork play of the game, and it's turned in by the Dallas Mavericks. First of all, Barea finding Jason Terry. Barea with one of his 4 assists and Terry with one of his 19 points, and then Terry finds Barea, who has a season-high 18 tonight for the Dallas Mavericks.
Well, they have combined for 37 points. You throw in the 39 from Dirk Nowitzki. By my math, that's what, 76 points out of those 3 players. And they have carried the load. Dampier, 9 points, but 14 rebounds. Did a wonderful job in the paint. And I have not seen Dallas play a better game than they've played all season long here tonight. They've been operating on all cylinders after a little bit of a lull when Phoenix went small. They went small, and since then they've gone on a 17-4 run before Diaw lays the ball in the basket. So Rick Carlisle goes small, matches Phoenix's small lineup, and wins the battle of small ball to finish this game.
And Dallas will win their 3rd consecutive game, and at home their 4th straight win to finally get to 500 after beginning the season at home 0-4. And overall the record will go to 10-8. Dragic to Amundsen, just checked in the game for Philadelphia 76ers. And digs inside and was fouled as he went up. Amundsen, who is a player from UNLV. Foul went on Bass for the 3rd time.
Well, this could be a game where the 3rd player in the last 4 games gets over 40. I don't know if we're going to see Nowitzki the rest of the way, so probably not. But I mean, you take last night, Chris Paul had 29 points and 24 points and 15 assists in that game. Stojakovic had 21, David West had 24, so their 3 stars last night combined for 71 points in that game. And tonight you have these 3 guys combined for 76. So Phoenix talks so much about being a better defensive team. We have not yet seen that, and the problem with that is they have lost their mojo offensively. So right now they've got nothing really going for them.
Coach, when you say mojo twice in one broadcast, I think everybody gets excited.
Well, I just, you know, this was a team that had such a swagger about them. Steve Nash was the MVP 2 years in a row, put the ball in his hands, and good things happened, and that just has not been the case here. And this Suns coaching staff is going to have to go back to the drawing board here. It's still early in the season. After tonight's game, they're going to be 11-9, and so they got 62 games to go. But in this ever-competitive Western Conference, you know, you don't want to get too far behind.
Well, they're going to lose their 4th consecutive game tonight, and Craig Sager, who is always smelling out a story, has got a good one right here. Seg, you send it over to you.
Well, I told you I had more of the Cowboys. Terrell Owens, Patrick Drayton, Roy Williams, the receivers for the Cowboys sitting here. And Diaw, you've always said if you weren't in the NFL, you'd be in the NBA. When you see a guy like J.J. Barea score 18, do you really feel you could play in this league?
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's doing a great job for him, too. He's brought a lot of energy to the games, the last few games that he's played. And I saw him the other night. He hit that clutch 3 against the Clippers.
You were the MVP of the Celebrity Game at All-Star Weekend a year ago. I know you also had a stint in the USBL. How serious were you about playing in the NBA?
I was really serious about it. I had a couple of injuries when I was back in San Francisco that kind of lingered on. And then we had a couple of training mini camps and stuff that really prohibited me from really getting involved with a lot of the games. But I can still play.
I know you're good friends with Shaq. You're here also seeing your hometown team, the Cowboys. When you look out there, what do you see that's wrong with the Suns?
Chemistry, and I think some of those guys have been injured. They just don't have that chemistry and that the flow that they had the last couple of years. So everybody knows they're a run and shoot team, but we don't have that right now.
I know you've also been watching Inside the NBA, and you had a message for Charles. You want me to say something to Chuck?
Hey, Chuck, leave LeBron alone. He is the man right now. You just sit up there with Kenny and Ernie and talk basketball. Leave LeBron alone.
All Charles said was for him to be quiet and not talk about possibly going out somewhere other than Cleveland.
He didn't really say anything. He just said, wait till that deadline. Other than that, he didn't really say anything. He didn't say, I'm going to be playing for the Knicks or the Nets. He's friends with Jay-Z, but, you know, that's just association. That's all.
All right, well, T.O. tells Charles Barkley to keep his mouth shut. Charles Barkley tells LeBron James to keep his shut. That's kind of ironic, isn't it, Kevin?
This is a historic night. A historic night indeed.
I tell you,
that's a great interview.
Well, T.O. knows the NBA.
Does,
I mean, he's follows it. He talked about the Clipper game the other night when J.J. Barea hit the 3. He talked about Phoenix and the chemistry and, you know, not having that same rhythm in their game. And so, I mean, he was right on with a lot of points.
These Cowboys have a big game this weekend against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm sure he'll be focusing on that. They love their Cowboys. Doug, let's revisit your key from about 2.5 hours ago. And again, you were right on talking about forwards, turnovers, bench play, and the wild cards.
Well, forward thinking, Dirk, 39 points was brilliant, and turnovers really not a factor in the game tonight. Phoenix only 13 turnovers, so they went bench play +9, and then the wild cards. Jason Terry, 19, and Shaquille O'Neal, only 4 points tonight, and actually was outplayed by Eric Dampier, who had 9 points and 14 rebounds.
Approaching 2 to play in this one, and a double team. Diaw gets it out to Dragic. It's in the triple. Rebound by Bell. I remember what you said, Doug, about taking over, as Terry Porter did, this Phoenix team, and others have echoed this. That might be the hardest job in the NBA.
I don't think there's any question. You know, you're taking over a team that has played a certain style. You want to improve them defensively. You try to keep your offensive rhythm. You're taking over a team that over the last 4 years that I think averaged 58 wins under Mike D'Antoni. And there was a real feel-goodness about the way they played and stuff. And right now, I don't think there's a lot of joy. And they're going to have to get themselves together, because right now, looking tonight, I mean, you wouldn't say this was a team that you would favor being in the playoffs. I mean, they got a lot of work to do.
James Singleton has come in for Dallas as Dragic forces the issue inside, working into Sean Williams, who, by the way, has a career-high 12 rebounds. And there's the upcoming schedule for the Suns. Bass picked up that foul number 4.
They'll go home and play the Jazz, who've been struggling. I mean, they lose at home to Miami. They've lost at home to Chicago. Boozer has been hurt. Darren Williams coming back from an ankle. So injuries have really hurt them. The Milwaukee Bucks have not been a good road team in the past, although Scott Skiles trying to bring a little toughness to that team. But Phoenix needs a feel-good game. They need to go home, and in front of their home fans, they need to get off to a great start on Saturday night, because the natives are getting restless, and they don't want to come out and play a lackluster first quarter. They better come out with some energy and some fire in that game.
Sean Singletary, a rookie out of Virginia, now watching Williams. And Barbosa is over on George, and approaching a minute to play in this one. Gerald Green has come in, the much-traveled Gerald Green. Dragic defending him. Green started a handful of games. They've kind of gone with the injury to Josh Howard, small forward by committee. It's a very creative way that Rick Carlisle has tried to, put his finger on the various openings that have happened with Howard out.
Well, that's what you do as a coach. You fight through the tough times. I mean, you lose Josh Howard, who's arguably, you talk about, I think Dirk Nowitzki is their most valuable player, but Rick Carlisle said he feels like that Josh Howard may be their most important player. I mean, you have 3 guys on this team averaging over 20 points a game, and Josh Howard, Jason Terry, and Dirk Nowitzki. Last year, Golden State had 3 guys to do that. The last time that was done was back in Golden State with Mullen, Richmond, and Hardaway. So they have 3 big-time scorers on this team.
Green and Amundsen collide, and both are feeling the effects of it. Amundsen holding his head. That's the second foul, and it goes on Gerald Green, who was with Boston and went in the KG trade to Minnesota. Then he was traded to Houston. Then he was let go inside as a free agent with Dallas.
I think the worst thing that happened to that young kid was all the accolades he got winning the slam dunk competition.
True.
I don't think that he understood all the work and stuff you have to put in to be a player in this league. Get in the gym early, work hard, stay late, develop a game. Learn to shoot the ball, learn to make plays, and you're just not going to get by on your running and dunking ability in this league. You're going to have to be able to be a player.
This Sunday from TNT and the producer of Independence Day comes the new TNT series Leverage. See Academy Award winner Timothy Hutton star in the commercial-free series premiere Sunday at 10 Eastern Time. Presented by Hyundai, only on TNT. After this, we take you to Denver with the San Antonio Spurs and the surprising Denver Nuggets.
Kevin, this will be the second time this year that Dallas is going to shoot over 45% at home. And they'll be 2-0. Last year, you know what they were at home when they shot above 45%?
I do, but I want to hear you say it.
26-0. So the last 2 years, they are 28-0 when they shoot 45% or better. That's how important shooting is to this team in this arena.
Mavericks at 51% from the field. The Suns at 44%. 39 points for Nowitzki with 9 rebounds. 18 points for Barea. 14 rebounds for Dampier. 19 points off the bench for Jason Terry. 28 points for Amari Stoudemire. And 20 points and 10 assists for Steve Nash, coming off of a A flu bug that forced him to lose 7 pounds over the last couple days. But Barea was such a great story. The Mavericks never trailed in this game. Kept the lead in double digits for the final 35 minutes. Let's send it over to the star of the game, Dirk Nowitzki, with our Craig Sager.
Well, Dirk, after that 2-7 start, you guys have now won 8 of your last 9. What has been the biggest difference?
Well, I think we're more comfortable with the sets. We tried some stuff at the beginning that wasn't really working in our favor. And I think now we got our sets that we go to. Guys are more comfortable on the court. I think defensively we compete a little harder. We rebounded well. And then on the break, at the ball to Jason Kidd, and that's a big difference.
39 points tonight. That's a season high. At one point, Doug Collins said Dirk hasn't even hit the rim. Did you feel like you really had to go in tonight?
Well, you know, I feel like I haven't shot the ball particularly well all season. I had some good games, but I only shoot like, I don't know, 44% from the field for the whole year. So that's not good enough. So found my rhythm early. I think got Jet and Kids had some good down screens there to get me open a couple times. And, you know, I'm going to keep shooting and be aggressive for this team, and we're able to get the win.
Seems like you always have great games against the Phoenix Suns. Like you had that 50-point game in the playoffs a couple of years ago. It's not your problem, but you are such good friends with Steve Nash. What do you see as an opponent? What's wrong with Phoenix?
Well, they're in a transition period just as we are. You know, they made a trade late in the season last year, and it took them a while to get used to Shaq and being in the middle, and they made a coaching change just like we did. So I think they even have still a better record than we do. So I think both of us still trying to figure some things out, still trying to figure out lineups, still trying to get plays down. And but I think at the end of the day, both teams will be there.
I think you guys have figured it out, winning 8 of the last 9. Let's go back to Kevin and Doug.
Great job tonight, Craig. Thank you very much. Our producer tonight, Scott Cockrell, our director, Lonnie Dale, and special thanks to 2 of the best audio guys in the business, Pat Thornton and Ricky Maldonado. Mavericks led by 9 after the first quarter, by 18 at halftime, 14 after 3, and the big lead was 23. And Dallas wins their 3rd consecutive game, their 4th straight at home. Now for Doug Collins and Craig Sager, Kevin Harlan saying goodnight from Big D. We take a break, then take you to Denver for the Spurs and Nuggets on TNT.